can just see on his face. It's painful, the joy that's been sucked out of this kid by playing in Buffalo for the last 5 years. And it's terrible because I'd love for him to be one of those guys that's just a Sabre for life. But I don't think I see it happening. And I think you've got to trade him. I think you could get a haul for him.
Yeah.
So if we're in rebuilding mode, and we've been in rebuilding mode for what seems like the last 15 years, what better opportunity to let this kid go somewhere where he could be a stud, where he could win a cup, and bring back an absolute haul for him in either draft picks or other young talent. And trust me, it doesn't feel great to say that. I love that everything would have worked out. You know, he, along with our other first round picks, Rasmus Dahlin and others, would have worked out and been an amazing team by now. It just doesn't seem like we're there, and now I feel like now would be the time to move him.
Eesh. Sorry, Sabres fans, but the man has spoken.
No, here I am on Independence Day, 4th of July.
4th of July.
Everyone's cooking steaks. Everyone's out by the pool. And here I am just raining on their parade. Literally, if there was parades right now, if we could have parades, I'd literally be raining on it right now. I'm literally throwing shade and raining on their parade right now.
That's what I'm doing. I'm going to call you the Rain Man.
Oh, don't start with that. That's going to catch on. It's going to follow me forever. One negative thing I say about the Sabres.
Rueter.
Oh, here we go.
That's hard.
And it's got alliteration there, too.
That might be a t-shirt in the future.
We're in trouble. We're in trouble.
Rain Man.
All right, my man. What's your number 4?
Number 4. We're going down to Texas. We're going to the city of Houston. Y'all need to liberate my guy, Deshaun Watson. Okay? First of all, this is where we're going to start. Since entering the league in 2017, this man has accumulated 125 sacks taken. Okay? 100, listen to that number. In 3 years, he has been sacked 125 times.
Wow.
19 times his rookie season, 62 times his sophomore season, 44 times last year.
66 times?
62 times.
62 times.
How the fuck do you get your quarterback sacked 62 times?
That's some David Carr shit right there.
This is exactly what it is. And this is exactly why he needs to get out of Houston. They don't protect their quarterback in Houston. There's a history of this. You go back to when this franchise started with David Carr, who literally was assaulted on multiple occasions in the backfield while playing for this Houston, Texas franchise. They don't believe in protecting their quarterback. And albeit, I will give them credit. Last year, they traded 2 first-round picks for Lermy Tunsil. But it still doesn't address the issue of them and Bill O'Brien drawing up plays where it's always having his quarterback drop back and waiting for the play to develop and just getting his quarterback fucking obliterated. Get the ball out of the man's hands. Draw out quicker plays. Protect them. Get better offensive linemen. Hire a better offensive line coach. I don't know what the whole issue is. Figure this shit out. You're a professional football team. Then you go and trade his best receiver in DeAndre Hopkins for a fucking second round pick and a bag of chips. Like, goddamn. And then you go and replace that with a guy in Brandon Cooks who, when healthy, is pretty solid, but always getting hurt, always has concussions. And then now you have a running back in David Johnson who's pretty much paper man right now. He can't stay healthy. Unfortunately, he's one of my favorite players when healthy. Get my man Deshaun Watson out of Houston. I'm tired of seeing this man get killed. He's one of the few black quarterbacks we have in the NFL right now. And by the time, like, year 5 into his career, man, he's going to be limping around. He's going to have, like, the Steve McNair effect, where he's going to be just hurt and old by, like, 28.
Just hurt and old.
Just hurt and old.
Just hurt and old. Huh?
Body's just going to be broken. Like, stop.
It sounds like you're describing my life right now. Is it that bad? I didn't know it was that bad until you put it in that context. I just wake up every morning, just hurt and old.
Imagine how this man wakes up every morning having 300-pound men just falling him consistently.
I've been sacked 0 times, and I'm hurt and old. So I can only imagine what 100 sacks does to your body.
That's my number 4, man. Liberate Deshaun Watson.
I love it. I love it.
Get him out of there.
All right, man.
Number 3.
That's awesome. All right, so I'm going to stick with the NFL, and I'm going to move it up north from Texas. We're going all the way up to Ohio for one of my favorite players from the Cincinnati Bengals, Mr. A.J. Green. This is a guy, you know, you might be thinking to yourself, all right, well, this is a really great player already. It's not like he's going to go somewhere else and, you know, do much better. I just feel like this is a guy that just deserves his independence at this point. This is a guy that just comes out and plays every single year. You know, multiple time 1,000-yard receiver, multiple time with double-digit touchdowns. Up until about a season ago, incredibly durable, you know, playing almost every game throughout most of his seasons. You know, just a big-time guy, big-time player, awesome locker room presence. This is a guy that was never in the news for anything negative, despite playing for a franchise that doesn't even have an outdoor facility, right? In 2020, this is an NFL franchise that doesn't have an outdoor facility, right? An indoor facility, so that when they have their cold weather out there, you know, they're getting beat up in the elements even at practice. All right, so no indoor facility.
Like they can't escape the cold, they can't escape the heat.
For an NFL franchise.
They're just in there.
It's just, whatever it is, it's just awful. No AC.
God damn.
No heaters.
They're fucking broke college
just
students.
Out there. I know some high school teams in nice neighborhoods that have indoor facilities for their football team.
Right.
And this is a guy.
This is a fucking professional NFL team.
You can talk about coaching there for years and that they could never get over the hump. They could never win a playoff game. He had a very nice run with Andy Dalton, who thankfully for him got his independence. He's not moving into a great situation where he's going to be a backup, but I still have hope for Andy Dalton in the future. But man, if there isn't a better guy, you know, seemingly in sports than AJ Green, who just shut up and played at a high level for years and years on a franchise that just couldn't seem to be bothered to make themselves a real franchise, AJ Green deserves to be out, man. Get him out of there.
Yeah, he's going to be one of those guys there that you go look at his career and he put up awesome numbers and probably had he's going to have probably no Super Bowl rings, very little playoff success.
Yep, unless he goes somewhere else. I can't imagine right now, especially, right? With Joe Burrow coming in, new coaching staff coming in, I just don't see this team.
They play in the AFC North.
Tough, right? I mean, super tough. I mean, that's three incredibly good teams. You could have 3 playoff teams coming out of that AFC North for real. Seriously. Especially with the stretch to 7 teams now. Easily, the Ravens, Steelers, and Browns could make the playoffs this year. I mean, that's 3 very good teams in the AFC North. This is going to be a brutal year for Cincinnati, I've got a feeling. Even if Joe Burrow plays well, right? It's going to be a brutal year. So This guy needs to get out. This guy needs to go to a contender. He deserves that. I'd love to see him, you know, hoisting up the Lombardi Trophy. I think that'd be really cool. And I just don't think he's going to get it done in Cincinnati. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's probably going to finish his career with over 10,000 receiving yards.
Yeah.
And, you know, can barely scratch his way to the playoffs. I just think that that's a shame. And they need to free him and give him his independence.
Andy Dalton has been his quarterback his whole career.
Okay.
Enough said.
All right.
Like what the fuck?
All right. Not too much hate now.
Help the brother out.
All right. Get him somebody.
There's
better fits out there.
Shout out to Joe Burrow, though. I think he's going to be pretty solid.
Imagine AJ Green in like a Packers jersey.
Imagine him in a Ravens jersey.
No, I don't want to do that. That's
killer.
too scary.
He's been fucking us up, man.
He does. He fucks up everybody, man. That's what he does.
Yeah, that's a fact. I can't wait till you get out of the division. Just go. Get him out of there. All right, number 3 for me. I'm going down to Jacksonville, and we're going to talk my man Yannick Ngakoue. Am I saying his name right?
I thought it was Ngakoue.
Ngakoue? I'm gonna go with what you're saying, because cool. you know these names pretty well. Yannick Ngakoue, Jacksonville defensive end. And, I mean, you go look at that Jaguars team, and you can see why they just need to trade him as well and stop holding him hostage. They get rid of their star cornerback, Jalen Ramsey, last year. This past offseason, they got rid of Calais Campbell. They let go of their quarterback, Nick Foles. They're in complete tank mode. This is pretty much the tank for Lawrence season, unless Gardner Minshew shows up and he's the second coming of Tom Brady. But, I mean, shit. He had a pretty good season last year. I like Gardner, Mr. Florida man.
He rocks that mustache.
He does rock that mustache.
And
he
those jorts.
The cutaways. I fucks with Gardner, but that franchise right now, the Jacksonville franchise, is not looking good. And I mean, a couple of years ago, they was just in the AFC Championship game battling with the Patriots and almost beat them. And now they're arguably the worst team in the NFL. And they have one of the premier pass rushers in this league. Young, he's only 25 years old. And I mean, it's bad, Rueter. Like, it's to the point now where he's literally arguing with management over Twitter.
Oh,
did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
That was bad.
That's brutal.
Like, he's going back and forth with the team president and GM and shit, talking about, yo, man, y'all, you told me you're going to get me out of here. I'm still here. Stop capping. Get me out. And Jacksonville, I guess they want a premium for him. They're supposed to trade him to the Las Vegas Raiders this past draft for like the 12th overall pick. The Raiders wanted to give him like 19 instead. So that deal fell through.
Okay.
Man, it's get him out of Jacksonville. He's a great pass rusher. He should be on a winning team. Like, could you imagine him? Like, he could transform literally any type of defense and make them like very formidable pass rushing the ball. And then I'm trying to think of a team that any contender can use him.
For sure. You can never have enough pass rushers. Right. Any good team that's playoff bound could use another pass rusher. And I think you nailed it with Jacksonville in general, because you look at that team every year on paper. They've just got a team that looks like, wow, this could be their year.
Right.
And they never put it together.
Never. Yeah. Like the head coach, is Marone still their head coach?
I have no idea.
Like, the head coach is shitty.
They're the Jaguars. I don't think it matters.
Right. You got my man Gardner, 6th round pick. I like him, but we'll see what happens with that. I don't just seem like this team implodes. Like, you trusted Blake Bortles for 4 years as your starting quarterback. Bortles.
Oh. That's another failed experiment.
Like, come on, man. Get him out of there.
They brought in Nick Foles, which was essentially a disaster.
Like Nick Foles. I like him, but, he's a backup for a reason.
I mean, Jalen Ramsey couldn't wait to get out of town.
Forced his way out.
Yeah, it just seems like a place that no one wants to be. As nice as the weather is, people want out.
Get him out of there. My man Yannick. Get him out of there.
Give him his independence.
Give him his independence. All right, number two. All right, for me, this one might be maybe a surprise for some people, but I'm going to go to one of your favorite franchises. That would be the California, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, United States of America. There you go.
Whatever they're calling themselves now.
Everything.
Right? All of them. All of California. Names. Bakersfield. Everywhere.
The Angels of North America. From the city of Los Angeles. From the state of California. From the province of...
Just... It's your boy Mike Trout.
Yeah.
I mean, again, just an absolutely all-world player. Okay? All-world player by every stretch of the imagination. We are literally watching one of the greatest players to ever play any sport ever play right now, right? It's like a privilege to be able to say, to my nieces and nephews and their children after that, if I make it, that I watched Mike Trout play.
Yeah.
It's incredible. We're watching greatness right now, right? There's going to be ESPN documentaries about this guy. It's unbelievable. Just a little quick rundown. He came out and won Rookie of the Year, okay, where he finished second in the MVP voting. The next year, followed up with another second in the MVP voting. Then he won MVP, came in second in MVP voting, won the MVP, was fourth in a year where he was hurt.
There's a theme here.
Was second in MVP voting.
Okay.
And then won the MVP again last year.
Another one.
He is the top 1 or 2 ball players in the league every single year. And by the way, a couple of those where he lost, one of those was to Miguel Cabrera, who won the Triple Crown that year. So, I mean, this is a guy who it's
taken extraordinary feats for him not to get MVP.
We're tired of winning with this guy, and that's what it is. And probably some of the reasons he didn't win those MVPs were because we're just numb to how good Mike Trout really is. And you know why I think he needs his independence more than anything? It's not because they never surround him with talent. It's not because the pitching staff is probably going to be bad again this year. But my favorite stat of all is, do you know how many home runs Mike Trout has hit in the playoffs?
I want to say 5.
You want to say 5. Okay. He has 285 home runs in his career so far. He has hit 0 in the playoffs because he has not been to the playoffs.